Good morning. It's Mr. Kenney.
My name is Mrs. Smith. Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you. Today's conference is to discuss the college and reading state standards based off the reading curriculum with your son Liam. First, I would like to tell you what a pleasure it is to have Liam in the class. He brings a great energy to the class, and he's always want to help his fellow students out.
How is Liam doing?
He's doing very well in the curriculum. Let me tell you a little bit about it. The curriculum is broken up into 5 areas. There's phonemic awareness, phonics, fluency, vocabulary, and comprehension. And they each are designed to articulate different areas of reading. For instance, phonemic awareness breaks down the understanding of the language, like in the word cat. It breaks down each separate syllable, so that way the student can become a better reader. There's phonics, and phonics teaches the code of the English language, basically so how the words work together. Fluency is how well he can read the language together and understand it. Then there's vocabulary. What vocabulary does is allows him to recognize words that he may or may not understand right away. And of course there's comprehension, which is the recall of the information that Liam needs.
Is there anything that Liam is struggling with?
There are a few things that he's struggling with, but let me go ahead and tell you about what he's excelling at. He's excelling at fluency. At the beginning of the school year, we tested him for fluency, and he was only doing about 120 words out of 135 words every minute. The last time we tested him, which was a few weeks ago, he is reading 134 out of 135 words a minute. And the fluency is basically if he has to stammer over a word, or if he doesn't understand a word, or if he pauses, we have to mark that word correctly. Another one of his strengths is his vocabulary. Despite what Liam says, he's a voracious reader. He loves to read and he loves learning new words. Words that he doesn't know, he tends to look up. Right now, being in 4th grade, he's reading at a 7th grade level with vocabulary.
Oh, wow.
His third is his comprehension. He recalls a lot of the information that he reads. And I've noticed that when Liam reads, he tends to excel at books that he loves to read. Whereas, like with some school books and subjects that he's not too thrilled with, he struggles with those a little bit. For instance, we were doing a biography on Martin Luther King, and Liam absolutely loved reading biographies. So what I tend to do is I tend to let him choose a book of his own that he can read on his own for his accelerated reading program, so he can read that. But he also understands that there are books that he has to read with the class, and he does that. And I've noticed that he's been comprehending those books a lot more since we've allowed him to freedom. As far as areas, we don't like to call them, for improvement, we like to call them areas of growth. His phonemic awareness, sometimes he struggles blending words together. And not necessarily the words, it's the letters, like in the word booth. He said bouth with that. So he kind of blended the 2 O's to an OU sound. Another one would be his phonics, whereas if he's going to be working with the word like shopping, when I asked him to spell it, he spelled it SHOPING. So using a double consonant, sometimes that can throw him a little bit. And also he tends to mishear words. If he's unfamiliar with the word, he'll mishear it, even if you read him a sentence describing what the word is.
Is there anything that we can do to help him with those areas of growth?
Yes, what we can do is I can work with him at school, and there's some areas at home. At school, what I would like to do is work with the phonics and the ambiguous sounds, such as the OU or the O sounds like I mentioned. Vocabulary comprehension, even though this is one of his strong suits, the more he can comprehend and hear the words repeated over and over again, the better he's going to be in recognizing the words the word patterns, breaking the words apart. And to continue with the comprehension, we can further this going on with his educational career. So once he gets up to the 5th, 6th, 7th grade levels, he can continue to read and gain more vocabulary. At home, what I would like to do is read the books with him that I sent home with him. So these are going to be some of the books that, he says he's not too thrilled with, working with in school. But I think at home, sitting down with you, if you have him sit down and read on his own, and if he struggles with the word or breaking apart something, then you can help him with that at home.
I think we can do that.
Like I say, he loves to read, so I'd say let him read. Does he read a lot at home?
He tends to read the stuff that he's interested in, as you well know.
Right. And then the other thing I would suggest is always finally go ahead and review his homework with him. Allow him to read to his brothers and sisters if he has any, or to you before he goes to bed. Anything we can do to have the child read 30 minutes a night usually is what I recommend, would be fantastic. Do you have any other questions?
No, I think you covered everything, and we can work with him reading more at home, and I do review his homework, so that is something that we do currently.
Okay, well, once again, thank you for coming in, and Liam, is an absolute pleasure to have in class.
Oh, well, thank you. It was a pleasure to meet you.